What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Things are getting a bit slow. Manufacturers aren't that eager to put out products given the circumstances, but the people at Audiomodern just released a free plugin that's actually quite amazing called the Filterstep. And it literally does what it says on the box. It has a bunch of steps that set the filter, and you can select the slope and all of the stuff you would kind of expect from such a plugin, but it does it in a pretty interesting way, and the GUI is extremely pleasant on the eyes. So what I wanted to do is literally just go through some of the sounds that this is capable of achieving, and from the get-go you don't really have presets. In the traditional sense, you can assign them yourself, but it doesn't come with stuff. So you have all of these interesting ones here that are actually settings. So you can assign MIDI information to all of these and kind of make your own in that sense, but it doesn't come with specific sounds or specific ways of manipulating whatever you have in front of you to get to the desired result. It's literally just you tweaking these yellow knobs here. And it also has a random function, which is quite cool, and I use that as the basis of most of the sounds that I got here, so I highly recommend you give that a whirl. So literally let's just go through the sounds and see what it's capable of. So we have this as example number 1, and it goes like this. And if you apply the filter on it, it goes like this. So as you can see, it applies those filters in steps. And if I hit the randomize button, you'll see what it does. So each of these is either turned on or off, the velocity, the actual filter itself, and you can select the slope of it. So you can either have high pass, band pass, or low pass, and you can tweak all of these other parameters as well. So the resonance of the filter itself, the range of it, and if it's smooth or a bit more jagged, and of course you have the subdivisions. So it also takes into account the speed, and you can also add many more steps to this. I'm just going to stick to 16 just because it makes more sense given the way pop music tends to be subdivided. You can also play with the mix, so let's see what that does on the same example. Oh, and you can also tell it to go either up, down, or both ways, which is how I have it set up over here. So let's exaggerate this. Let's put it at 100% and then tweak a few knobs and see what each of these things actually do. So see, even by moving just one single button, you get some really funky sounds. So let's move on to the second example. It's kind of mostly the same. So once you get the hang of it, it kind of does a thing. But depending on what you put it on, it gets you to a place where you can use a sound that you probably didn't have a place for before applying it. So let's have a listen to what this sounded like. Whoops, not this, the second one. Just a piano sample. So let's apply the filter to it. So as you can see, it adds a lot of movement to the sample. Instead of just having some plain chords, you can have this in and give it a sense of movement. It does something to the sound that, again, was not part of the original one. So it adds almost a second instrument to the whole thing. So that was at 100%. Let's hear the same thing, and let's say at 60, 50, 60, and see how you can blend these into something completely new. I like the one that has filter step on it way more, just because it brings something new. It's not just some plain loop with the same piano chords going over and over again. And all of these buttons can be automated. As I said at the beginning, you can assign MIDI controller to any of these settings, so you can actually play this as an instrument, which is pretty cool. And in the last example, I have a sort of ambient sound that, again, doesn't really tell that much of a story, but it's gonna change once we apply the filter to it. But let's listen to the initial example. And adding the filter. And as you can tell, when I don't have the smoother function activated, it clicks a lot. So it's quite good that we have that function there, just so we can control the kind of the amount of the click, because you might want to click, you might want that transient to poke through, but maybe not with something like this. So it's good that you can control how much of it you get. So let's see what the randomize function can do to this. And I love this, just blend it in. So not on full whack, at around 60%. It just adds movement to something that is pretty much static. So not that much else going on with this one. It's literally, as I said at the beginning, it's what it says on the box. It's a filter step, and you can apply it to most of anything. It doesn't sound too good on drums. I've tried it, but it's not necessarily what you need, and to be honest, it's not something that you might want to do on drums anyway. But for something like this, where you just have some plain chords or some atmospheric pads or whatever, adding this will get a new sense of movement to the thing, and it might make the overall sound that you have or sample kind of find its place in the mix, in the production, in the beat. So give this a try. It's free, which is the best thing about it, and the interface is extremely nice to look at, which is always a good thing, because you end up staring quite a lot into the screen. So give this a try. Let me know if you did download it in the comments below, and what instruments you found this most useful on. To be honest, I think it's really great on pads and atmospheric sounds, drones, but I don't know, I'm really curious to see what you guys have used it on. And thanks again for watching. See you next time. Thanks a lot for watching the video until the end. I really do hope you got something out of it. And if you did enjoy it, if you did get any value out of it, please let me know in the comments below. And consider subscribing to the channel, share the video, like it, all that jazz. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks.